been putting pressure on a UK company to provide its oil spill response plan. They have strenuously refused to do so, and opted instead to take us to a Dutch court and try to get an injunction of 2 million euros a day for every day that our activists peacefully resisted their presence there. The courts actually gave them a much lower injunction of 50,000 euro a day, but also said that our request for this oil spill plan was legitimate. And so what we were trying to do through this action that I participated in was to deliver 50,000 signatures of people from more than 100 countries and to send a message to those companies that engage in environmental crime that simply taking us to courts and getting a judgment is not going to stop us from continuing the fight, because we consider that right now the struggle to protect the Arctic is the defining environmental struggle of our time.
Now, you were arrested a while back. Tell us about that story.
Well, we essentially went to the rig from our ship, the Esperanza, on a small inflatable boat. They had a power hose strapped on the ladder, which was the only way to get in. We managed to climb against the hose, got in with 50,000 signatures, and we were seeking to present it to the authorities on the rig. Mm-hmm. They called in the Danish Navy. They refused to have any contact with us. The Danish authorities were very polite and respectful. They, within 2 hours, put us on a helicopter and flew us off the rig to Nuuk, which is the capital of Greenland. We were brought before the court at 2 o'clock on Friday, and a deportation order was issued, as well as that we would need to be held in prison until we were able to get on a flight. Right. And but I think the important purpose behind the action was to raise awareness, to get a global public debate going, to give notice to companies that are thinking about going and drilling in a place which, if there is a oil spill, it will be catastrophic in terms of its impact. 80% of Greenland's economy depends on fisheries, but if there was an oil spill and the oil froze in the ice, during a weather change, the consequences would be extremely dire. And from some leaked documents that we've seen from the UK government, or using the Freedom of Information Act, we have now found communication within high levels of the UK government where they are expressing serious doubt if there was an oil spill in the Arctic, whether in fact it will be possible, to safely manage it.
Isn't one of the problems that, for example, the Gulf of Mexico is because there's so much heat there and so much water circulation, it's a very biodynamic environment. And while it's been very, very badly harmed by the BP oil spill, a decade, 2 decades, 5 decades from now, it may well be, largely remediated. But if this were to happen in the Arctic, because it's so cold, because there's so little circulation, because things move so slowly, that it could devastate the area for centuries. Do I have that right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, we know that melting of the Arctic ice is a global issue. It is related directly to the question of sea level rise, which is what the climate scientists have been warning us of. Already sea level rise has had an impact to coastal communities of Bangladesh, the people of the Pacific Island states, Maldives, and so on. We are seeing imminent signs and actual signs. I mean, even if you look at the first 6 months of this year globally and look at the violent weather events that we have actually seen, right. Some of it is explicitly linked to climate change, others more implicitly. But the bottom line is the writing is on the wall. We are running out of time, and rather than going to seek the last drops of oil in the most dangerous and remote places, we should be turning our minds to actually reducing our addiction to fossil fuels, oil, gas, and coal, and moving to a clean, green energy future where the science tells us we can actually meet our energy needs on the one hand, but also keep our economies growing on the other.
So very well said. Kumi Naidoo, the Executive Director of Greenpeace International, greenpeace.org/international, the website. Thank you for the great work you're doing and for being on our program.